What looks like a flaw in the law, allowing dangerous prisoners serving life sentences to get out and about in the community, is raising serious safety concerns. And that's after TVNZ's Sunday programme revealed Gareth Smither, who was jailed for murdering his girlfriend Karen Jacobs in 1997, has been allowed periods of leave for up to a week at a time. That's because he's now in the mental health care, not jail, despite the fact the parole board says he's not ready for release and he's yet to complete a violence prevention program. Earlier on Breakfast, we spoke to Garth McVicker from Sensible Sentencing Trust.
But I think realistically what we've got to look at here is the whole area of this mental health system. As we say, basically if they've come in through the justice system, that should be the only way out. I go to with the parole hearings with Maureen and John. I see what that does to them. But they're involved in a tug of war between the mental health system and the justice system. Joining us now is prison reform campaigner Peter Williams QC. Good morning.
Good morning.
Did you take issue with anything that Garth was saying?
Yes, I did. Well, first of all, he said that Smitherson had been sentenced to 10 years imprisonment. He was not. He was sentenced to life imprisonment. He might have been eligible for parole after 10 years in those days, but obviously he hasn't had parole. He's already served, I think, 14 or 15 years.
So what do you think about community visits? What role do they have in the life of a prisoner? What function do they serve?
Nothing new about community visits by people who've served long sentences. In fact, it's a very good thing. And what they're doing is they're preparing this young man because one day he will be released. It is better that he is rehabilitated. It is better that he has these excursions and is able to deal with the outside world when he is released. And there's nothing new about this. I could give you many, many examples of people, penal reformers, who have had prisoners in their homes overnight at the behest of the prisons so that they can become accustomed to the outside world. Jorgensen spent time with me in my home. Roy Rao, who was killed his wife, Oakley Hospital, where he was, used to send him at times to my place, and he used to have dinner with my family, and I used to take him out on my yacht. I know many, many examples of good, well-meaning people who, in cooperation with the prisons or in cooperation with the mental institutions, help a prisoner to rehabilitate back to the community by having excursions while still in prison or while still in a mental institution. What the hospital is doing in allowing this young man to have these excursions, and I may say that they are monitored, very, very carefully monitored. I may say this young man has a history while in prison of no incidents whatsoever. His behaviour has been excellent. He is remorseful for what he has done. People do change. You've only got to read the literature. Read Crime and Punishment, Dostoevsky. It has long been known that people can rehabilitate and people can reform, provided they're given encouragement, provided they have people around them who are willing to help.
OK, so perception is important here. As far as the public are concerned, or the parents of Karen Jacobs, they didn't know that he was out in the community. Does the process need to be more transparent? If it is all above board and if it's beneficial for society and for the prisoners, do we need to know about it?
Exactly. I think we do. I think there's got to be more transparency. I've said that again and again. And also you've got to think of this young man's parents too, that the horrors that they have been through. He had a mental illness prior to the homicide. His parents tried to have him treated in a hospital prior to the homicide. He was mentally ill at the time. The prison authorities have recognised that. They've placed him in a hospital at the present moment, and the hospital is doing what a hospital should do. It's trying to help him. And one of the things it's trying to do is giving him the odd excursion, and he has two warders with him at the time. There has been no problems whatsoever, and I think it is very, very wrong that we should have all this emotionalism at this stage. So people can trade on emotionalism. Of course we're sorry for the parents. Of course we're sorry for his daughter. But we can't allow this to control a judicial process.
So do you think there is a legal loophole that needs to be rectified?
No, I think the system is working reasonably well.
All right, Peter Williams QC, thank you for joining us.
It's a privilege and a pleasure. Thank you.